Quickly do a recap of what we did last week. I already mentioned on the slide that we talked extensively about Power BI implementation roadmap, which is we start from extracting our data from any of the sources that we currently have the data. The data might be in an Excel format, it might be in a database, it might be a website. You can connect to that data. That's the extraction. Then when you bring that data into the Power BI, you will be required to do some data cleaning. That is what is called transformation. Data cleaning has so many things, depend on how you want to name it. Like now, this particular data is currently in this type of format. I might want just to extract a year out of it. It's data cleaning. This particular data here is having different cases. Some are in capital letter, some are in small letter, so they are all mixed up. So I might want to make everything to be uniform, to be in lower case, or to be in upper case, or to be in a proper case. So those are data cleaning. So at anything you want to do, in as much as you want your data to be conformed to the way you want it to be, we call those process transformation. So now when you are done with transformation, the next thing is modeling. Modeling is talking about if you have multiple tables, how you build relationship between those tables so that they can be able to work together. So that is modeling. But we are not going to be going into that details today. So what I'm going to show you is to emphasize on extraction, transformation, the calculation and visualization aspects, so as to save us more time. So if you already have this type of report saved last week, maybe you practiced along with me last week, you can open your last file. It will take you to the where you stopped. And if you want to go back to your Power Query editor, just click on transform here. You will see transform data and data source setting. Just click on transform data. It will take you to where we are last week, where we talk about transformation, where we talk about okay, I think that English is very simple already. Transform, data transformation. So just click on transform, which actually speak to the terminology of transformation that we are talking about. So let me go back to, so a new window editor will come up. So this is a new window editor that comes up. Okay, we've not done much of the data cleaning to last week. Let me just start all over again. Let me start all over again so that, so I'm going to start all over again of the Power BI introduction. So I will click on, assuming you just open a blank report. So I'm going to hold on this. I'm going to do everything all over again because I know we have time today. It's not like last week that we are trying to do a lot of introduction extensively. So I'm going to open Power BI report as a new file. So when I open the Power BI report, I'm going to go to my Excel folder and import this particular data into my Power BI report. Why is Power BI taking long to open? Okay. Okay, it's coming up. So when you launch your Power BI, this is the interface you are going to see. Then you click on blank reports. So when we open the blank reports, so we now have our Power BI interface. So first thing that you need to know, we have about 4 fields in Power BI. 4 fields. The first one here is report field. All these items that you see at this side here, there are 4 views. The one you are looking at here is called report field. This is where you build your dashboard, where you are able to use your map, do a lot of stuff, where you plot your chart, do a lot of stuff. So if you want to see your data in terms of a table, you come to table view. You come to table view, and if you want to see the data model field,
And we also have a DAX view where you write some script like SQL query, but we don't need all of that today. So now that we have opened our Power BI report, I want to import our first Excel file, which is extraction. So you can do extraction based on any type of data. If you want to use Excel workbook, you can click here. If you want SQL Server, you can click here. But if you want to see all the different type of platform where you can get data into Power BI. So one example of that is this. You can click on get data. You will see common data sources that we have. Like common data sources talking about different places you can see, you can bring data into Power BI. So if you click more, you'll be able to see hundreds of them, of those common data sources. I'll click on more. So more will show me. You can see if you click all, you can see all of different of those data. You can see them. So now the one we want to import is Excel workbook. So I'm going to click Excel workbook. If it is a PDF you want to bring, you click PDF. You can extract data from PDF too. So I will now click connect. So immediately I click connect, then it will take me, I will take my cursor to my folder where I have that data. You see consumer opinion, I will click it. Immediately I click it, then I will open it. So when that is open, it will give you a prompt to tell you, do you want to do transformation? You know what I've done now is I've done extraction, which is I've extracted the data as a CSV from my folder in my laptop into the Power BI. So the next thing I want to do now is to do transformation. Transformation, as I've mentioned, so click the file here. Let's click the file here. So to select it. So I've selected the file. You can look at the data is not currently clean. There are a lot of information that need to be optimized in proper way. So if I click on load, it will go into Power BI directly, and I'm going to be running into error because my data is not currently as the best fit of what I need. So I need to click transform data. So immediately you click transform data, it will take you to where you can do transformation. And when you do transformation, like do data cleaning to your data, is Power Query Editor. We call it Power Query Editor. You can see how Power Query Editor look like. It's like it is an additional window that's going to show to you additional window that show. So in that additional window, you will see all your data. You will see all the data that you've imported. You see all of them here. Are we all together? Kindly drop any emoji of your choice if you can hear me and you can see my screen. All right, awesome. So now that we have our data here, so first of all, awesome, well done, guys. So now what we want to do, the key thing we want to do is this. You can see the actions, these actions that we have here, right? And I want to also note some of the information that we have here. We have on the ribbon page, we have home. Home, the way they customize Power BI is just like the way you normally use your Excel, the way you normally use your Microsoft Word, the way you normally use your PowerPoint, where you have a ribbon and you have some list of items. We have transformation, we have home here. It's just home just has a lot of collection of information that you might quickly want to use for cleaning your data. So transformation here is also some collection of information that you might want to use to clean your data. So now what we are going to do now is, first of all, I'm just going to be doing some data cleaning and then be telling you to navigate to the appropriate channel where we have a lot of them. So for the actions by here, what I want us to do here now is I want us to make everything to be okay. If you look at the front of action by, there is one small arrow facing down here. So if you click it, you will see the list of, just like the way you use Peter in Excel, you will see the list of information inside that particular column. You see Ada is a, you see different, you see the way everything is arranged, like David Julius and David Julius Akanji. So we need to make it to be either David Julius Akanji or David Julius alone. Some of them are in capital letter, some of them are in small letter.
So we need to correct all of that. So what you need to do, just take your cursor to the top of the where we have this action by. Take your cursor there, then right click on your mouse. When you right click on your mouse, you will see a lot of information coming up here. Then let's locate transform. Let's locate transform. So this is transform, right? So from transform, just click capitalize each word. So now all of them will be capitalized each word. You can see we don't have all of them to be small letter, some of them to be capital letter again. All of them are now in their initial is now having capital letter. So the next thing I want to do is I want to this David Julius and David Julius are conditional. I want to replace one with each other so that I can have a unique one. So I click on David Julius, the one that I want. I will click it and copy it here. Use your Control C and Control. You use Control C to copy just as usual. Then I will now go to the David Junior Akanji that I want to replace. I can go to the head of that. Then I will right click again on that particular item I want to replace. Then I will click on replace value. So when I click on replace value, so anywhere David Julius Akanji is going to replace it for me. So it's going to show you replace value. Then I'm going to paste that David Julius here. So I want David Julius to replace anywhere we have David Julius Akanji here. Then I will click OK. You can see that David Julius Akanji has gone. We now have David Julius. So now we now have everything in a proper way. So another thing I want to also say is this. So this action by is the name of the people who collected the survey, who helped us to collect the survey, right? And if you also look at something, let me arrange this in ascending order. So I can arrange it in ascending order. There is something I want to show. So, okay, most importantly, you see, one thing about Power BI is that any step you are taking, Power BI is always recording the step here. You can see apply steps. It's just like a tracker that track every step of what you are doing. So now, you know, when we did the source here was when we brought in our data, right? That was the source. When our data came into Power BI, that was this. You know, you can see David Julius Akanji. That was when our data was brought into Power BI. When I capitalize each word, you can see when I capitalize each word, that was like, you can see the step of when I capitalize each word. So when I replace a value, you can see here, right? When I check the filter items here, was this, that was the filter that showed. When I sorted the row in ascending, that was this. So in case I don't want to sort them again, I can delete that step. Then it will take me back to the last steps. You can notice that there is nothing like do and undo when you are on Power Query Editor. Nothing like undo and redo, but you can remove the step you have taken, or you can continue a step by reinitiating that step again. So now that I've done that, so it is assumed that if you look at this David Juniors here, it's having two double space. It's having double space in between. And if you look at Esther Akindele, it's having only one space. So I want everything to have one space, just as a proper way. So I will go to action by again. I will right click, then I will go to transform, then I will come to trim. I will click on trim. So immediately I click trim, you will see that this will be adjusted. So that will be adjusted. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to split this column. I want the first name to be separated from the last name. So I'm going to click action by, then I will click on split column. You see, so I want to split this column. Then there is something we call delimiter. Delimiter is talking about all those signs like comma, all those, you see them. So I want to split it by delimiter by space. All those space, semicolon, they are all called delimiter. They are the ones separating these two words together. So I want to separate them by that space. So you can see I will select leftmost delimiter. When you are separating, leftmost delimiter is telling you that I want to separate the first item that is at the left by space. If you click rightmost delimiter, you want to separate an item starting from the right,
Left is mean that you want to start from the left. Right means that you want to start from the right. Each occurrence means that anywhere there is a space in this column, separate them. So let me pick left with the delimiter. Then immediately I click that, it will separate David and Junior's, like the first name and last name. We separate them. So this trim, let me take this trim away again. So I can go back and say, okay, this trim that I applied the other time, I don't want it again. I can click it and delete it. It will also delete. So I can come to this other one. You can see this Julius is coming to this other side. It's not aligned with other one. I can apply, I can click, right click, and then go to transform again and say trim, so that it can trim it. You see, it has trimmed it now. Everything is now working. Everything is now aligned. So that is how to do that. Those are the data cleaning steps. Another data cleaning step, let's go to this. So let's rename this. You can double click here to call it first name. You can double click here and name it and say last name. So those are the people who collected the, or we can add agents. These are the agents that went to collect the survey for the organization. So agent first name. So this is agent last name. So now you see, I've already cleaned this. Everything are on point. So the next thing is I want to clean these dates. I want to know the date and the time. I want it separately of when they collected the data. So what I want to do now, I can also separate this data. I can also separate this data by clicking right click as well. And I go to, if you look at this particular one now, I want to separate this particular data by space. You know, this is a date. This is a date, right? This is a date, and this is time, right? So I want to separate it by space. So I can say, I can separate it this way. You know, the other time I right click here and I select split, right? But if you look at this particular one, split is not showing here. So in case it's not showing here, you can just go to your home page, your home ribbon here, then you see split. Most of the function you are seeing here when you right click here, they're also at the top here. But this particular one here is just like a shortcut. So let me go to the home tab. You see split. If you come to home tab, split, then you see the limiter. So what I'm going to use, you click on custom. I'm going to select space because I want it to be left most delimiter. Immediately I click each occurrence, it will separate time, the date, the time, and the PM or AM. So I don't want it to separate time and PM. I want it to be there. So I will use left so that it will remove only the date. So I'm doing that now. So now, so you can see that the date has been separated from the time, right? So all these data cleaning approaches that we are talking about is still the same in any type of Power BI report you want to do. Your own might be something different, but it's still the same approach. You can see that immediately I separated them, date started standalone, and the other one here, the time standalone. So I can click here and change it to date. Or let me undo the text that I type. So date submitted, and then we change this on to time submitted. So the next data cleaning. So now one thing you also need to note is that there is something like, if you look at these particular items here, if you look at this place, there is something like before the
the column name, there are some symbol, right? If you can look at it. So this symbol is talking about data type. And who among us here does not know what we mean by data type? You can say it on the chart. Data type is just the category of data that we have. So like this particular serial number now, the machine has seen it as a number. That's why it's showing 1, 2, 3. Then this particular agent and agent's last name here. Agent and agent last name here is a text. That's why you are seeing it as a text. So this particular date is already seeing it as a date. The data type here is a date. You can see it's a date. Before it was a date and time, but we separated them. It became a date alone. Then when we separated it, the time also stood alone now. We don't have time. Before it was date and time, but after separation, it becomes times alone. So we need to note the data. We need to give every element we are working with. They need to have their own correct data type. You can see this particular latitude and longitude, they are in decimal data number. So they are in decimal. You can see whole number. We have the one that are in currency, dollar, we have dates, we have duration, we have true and false. So depending on the type of data type you are dealing with. So that's what we have done there. So the next thing we want to do is, let's now say this report title, I don't want it in my report. You can right click and click remove. It will remove it. Another thing you can also do, if you look at this particular data that we have now, we have so many information here up to this level. But what we just want to focus on in our analysis, just want to do a summary of reports talking about the geographical spread of the survey. We want to know how many survey was conducted, which location was it conducted, what is the biodata of the people that was interviewed for this survey. We want to know their gender, their religion, and their age group. That's what we want to know. We are not looking forward to know what suggestion of promotion or any other information that they have here. So which means that every information that I have after religion, I want to cut it out. I don't want all these other information that we have here. I don't want it again. I just want only this few information here. So sometimes as an analyst, you might be working with 1,000 of columns, hundreds of columns. So you might not have enough time to be clicking them one by one like this and be saying, okay, we don't want this one. Let me right click and remove. Let me come to this one. Let me right click and remove. You might not have all those luxury of time. You see, as we are removing them, you see, it's recording it. So you might want to do everything once. So the best way to do everything once is to come to, you go to your home, you come to choose column. You see choose column. Choose column means that the column you want to see is what you are going to choose. So you can see choose column at the top here. Click on choose column. So from choose column, unselect everything, then begin to select the one you want to see, the one you want to use. I begin to select all those ones I want to see: longitude, latitude, gender, what is age group, marital status, religion. This is what I want to see. So I'm not interested in the other one, then I will click OK. Then you will see that all other one have gone. You see, to remove other column, that was the step we have applied. You see, I've removed other ones. So now, what I just need to do, gender of the respondent. I'll just come here. Age range of the respondent, this particular one, I will just rename them. Age range of the respondent. I'll just come here. Marital status. This particular one, I rename this one marital status. Then religion, the religion of the respondent. So now I now have all my data now, right? So the next thing I need to do, now that I'm satisfied with my data cleaning, consumer opinion survey too, I can rename it opinion survey. I can rename it either way. I can delete it, I can leave it, depending on your choice. Then when you are satisfied with whatever you want to do in your data cleaning, there are a lot of things you can do for data cleaning. We cannot cover everything with the short period of time that we have, but there is a lot. But with little we have discussed, I'm very sure when you continue your learning, definitely you'll be able to see more of them. So now I'm going to click on close and apply. So immediately you click on close and apply, all those data cleaning that you've applied, they will started implementing. So Power BI is working on it. So it's creating it now. It's creating that connection, all those things you have done, is implementing it so that it can come into your main report page. You know, I mentioned that Power Query editor. That's where you clean your data. Now we've cleaned your data, just like when you want to cook, you have a kitchen and you have where you are serving the food. So Power Query editor is the kitchen where you cook your data, where you transform it, you boil it, you do every preservation. Then when the food is done, you take it to the dining. So that's where the main Power BI you are looking at here. That's where you have it. So we are here now. So we have done our data cleaning. So if you want to look, I've mentioned to us that this report page here, report view. Anytime I mention report view, I mean this particular one. This is where we build your visual, you build your dashboard. The table view here, this is where you build, this is where you see all the data that you have. The way you look at it, the way you look at it in Excel, this is where you look at it like the way it normally show in Excel. You understand? Where you look at the table, you see all the table view of your data. But when you are in report view, you cannot see your data like this. You can only be seeing the column. It's all this column you are going to be referring to. You are going to be seeing this column. This column is what you are going to be seeing. You are not going to see the whole data. So when you are working in Power BI, we communicate to column heading, which is this. We communicate by this column. We are not referencing to the information here. We communicate to the column. So on the report page. So for data modeling here, this is where we create a relationship between, if you have multiple tables. Let's say as we have a consumer opinion survey, we have some other table. This is where we build relationship between them. We link them to each other, how they can connect to each other. This is where we do that. So now that we are here, what's next? So I've mentioned, we've talked about extraction, we just complete transformation. I've told you if you have 2 or 3 tables, 3 tables means that when you have this one particular data, if you have another data, like maybe we imported 4 or 3 data into the Power BI. So we create a relationship between them. If they have relationship, that is what we call modeling. We link them together. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is calculation. That's calculation in the Power BI, we call it DAX. Let me show you. We call calculation in Power BI, we call it DAX. DAX is what we call it. It is data analysis expressions. So that's what we call it. So now, there are a lot of things that you need to know when you are in Power BI reports. Some of you guys that you just downloaded your Power BI reports, you might not be having all these navigation that I have here. You might not be seeing all these navigations that we have here. You might not be seeing it. But first of all, what you need to do to have this type of feel, this type of environment that I have like my own, you need to go to file. You need to activate something. Since you are just using Power BI for the first time, go to file. When you come to file, go to option and setting in your Power BI here, option and settings. When you come to option and settings, then a page will come up. You click on options. So when you are at the options, so you need to update some of the new features that Power BI have already included in their page. You need to include some of those things. You see, when you click that option, you see data load, but we just point you to where you just need to go majorly. So you can select everything you have here on the Power Query editor layout. So the another thing you can also do under the security, you need to check the basic check. Most important thing, you need to select custom visual, GIS and map fee. Because if you do not select map fee, if you do not select all this, you will not be able to use the map.
that we are going to be using for our report. You might not be able to use the map. So make sure you come to security, then enable this map so that the map can work. You know, when you are working on your mobile phone and you want to open one application, they will tell you that you should allow camera, when you join this call, is when you join this meeting call, your screen browser or anything was asking you allow voice call, allows camera. Am I right? So the same way, you need to allow these security settings here. You need to allow all of these items. You need to allow them. Then another thing you can also do, you need to come to update. Okay, no, not update. Okay, preview feature. On this preview feature, you can also checklist everything you have here. You can also checklist everything you have here. You can select everything. The only one I'm not selecting the Spanish language. These are the new information that Power BI has done. So all these things that I'm selecting, they are new things that just came about a few days ago. So me too, I'm just also selecting it. I don't want to do it or when I was alone. I wanted to show you, that's why I selected that. So now that I've selected all these features, for it to work, I need to restart my Power BI for it to work. So you say feature require a restart. So I will click OK. So before I restart, let me save my work. Let me come to save as TAU class. I'm giving it a name, Power BI 2025 day 2. Then I'm saving this. So now that I've saved it, I can close it. I will close it, then I will go and relaunch it. I will go back to my folder, then I will go and relaunch it. So I'm launching it. You can see it on my screen, right? So it's coming up. So do you have any questions so far? Why did we wait for the Power BI to load? You can drop your comment, anything on the chat, or speak. You can unmute yourself and speak. Are we together? Can you hear me? All right, Oluwaduni Sulaiman. All right, okay, awesome. So let's move on from here. So now, okay. So now the Power BI has launched. So it's asking me to fill recovery file. I don't have need for any recovery file, so I'm deleting that. So immediately you perform all those things we mentioned, you'll be able to have the latest experience of Power BI. So let me explain some navigation bar to you here. You see everything you have here. You see this thing that we have here. This, it's collapsible. You understand? It's collapsible. It's collapsible. If you click it, you can collapse it, you can open it, you can collapse it. So if you want to take it back, you click on control button on your laptop, then you select them. If you hold your control key to select them. This Copilot. Copilot here is just like a ChatGPT that you can use to query to support you for some of your work. So that's what that does. So, and in case you do not have all these shortcut key, all these things we have here, all the information we have here, all the information that we have here, all these 4 items here. The first one here is called data. Data is the data you imported to is just like a folder that have all the data you brought into your Power BI. So that's what that one does. That's what this one does. You understand? It holds every data you put into Power BI. So this other one here, build here, is one that holds all the charts, the type of charts that you might want to use to build your visual. Format here, this is where you do settings. For maybe you imported this chart, you now want to edit it, you want to rename it. So format here is what help you to do that. So filter here is maybe you want You want to limit the information that you are seeing on the screen. You want to limit it to some information. So you restricted the filter. You understand the word filter generally. Maybe you have 20 items showing on your dashboard. You want only top 5 to show. You control that from filter. I will show you how that is being done. So, and all of this information that we have here, they are all shortcuts. They are all shortcuts, or we can call them, you can call them favorites. You understand? So you can come to view in case you are not seeing this on your own side. In case you are not seeing it, you can come to view. Yes, you can come to view. You see, all this information that you are looking at here, they are the ones that are here. So if you unselect them here, or if it's not currently being selected on your own Power BI, you will not see them. So let me unselect it. You see, as I'm unselecting them, they are all going. You see, none of them is showing here again. None of them is showing here again. So if I want them to show as my favorite again, I will just click them. I will just click them. I will just click them. You can see they are. So that's just simple explanation on workaround I can just do for you around that. So with that being said, we also have a home page that you're already familiar with, where we use our get data the other time. Another thing is insert. Under insert, you can also, if you do want to use the chat here, if you do want to come here, as me, you don't have any, you did not enable your chat here, you can come to insert, select any type of chat that you want. But it's not, if you look at it, it's not looking nice here, like the way you have it at this side. That's very accessible for you. So those are the things you need for now. So this particular chart that I drop here, I can click delete on my keyboard, or I click these 3 dots and click remove if I want to remove it. So that is that again. So so we are now moving to the next step of the actions, which is we are going to be working on calculation and visualization at the same times. So let me take questions, let me take feedback if there is any. Any question so far, any clarification that you require. In case there is none from your hand, you can just give me any of your favorite emoji, then I will proceed. Okay, right, that's okay. So now, moving on, we have this report, we have this, let me come back to table view. Let's look at this data very well. So we have these reports, right? We are going to be doing a calculation of, I can sort this by serial number. I can sort them by serial number to see the order of how the data was collected in ascending order. I can see everything now. So in this survey, some of the things we want to know the total number of responses that was submitted. That is first thing we want to know. We also want to know the total response each agent submitted by their first name, using their first name. We want to know total submission that was received per day by date, and then want to know based on location what was the total response by location. We want to know the spread of submission by location, then we can now do total male respondent, total female respondent, and age group. Then we want to know the marital status and religions of these guys, of the respondents. Then we are going to use it to build a dashboard. Then we also do the percentage of male to female based on, also we are also going to do percentage of the Christian to Muslim on the survey. So those are the information we want to, those are the things we want to do. So kindly type on the chat some of the things that I mentioned that we are going to achieve from this report. Let me see 2 or 3 people typing that for me on the chat to know that you are following. Hello, I can't see anybody typing what we want to achieve that I just mentioned now. Can you guys see hear me? All right, okay. Thank you, Faith. So now, so in Power BI, there are a lot of, we have a lot of, let me open. So we have different calculation in Power BI formulas for DAX. So there are a lot of Power BI formula for DAX. So you can go online to read about a lot of them. You see, we have different formula for DAX. So uh so you can see this is how they use sum. So let me look for can row. So there are, okay, so there are a lot of formula reference for Power BI. So you can, let me see. I want to see different example that I can show you. Okay, let me just do one so that you can see how it works. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my first formula. So I'm on my home page here. So I click, you see something that looks like a calculator. DAX is like a calculator. You understand? DAX is like a calculator. You can click here. We have a a new measure. This particular new measure, you write it by yourself. But the quick measure, computer help you to write those one. For quick measure, computer help you to write that one. For new measure, you write that one yourself. So for the new measure, I'm going to teach you about using the new measure. So when you click on new measure here, want to count how many response that was submitted. So you can go online to also look at different DAX formula that we have. So now, this is how it will show. It will show just like the way you normally use Excel. Measure here, where you have measure here, is the name of the calculation you want to do. After equals to is the expression of what you want to achieve. So what I want to do now is want to do total response. Total, you type total responses, then you will type, the way you speak your DAX formula in Power BI, it's just like you are speaking just normal English. Count, you just type, you want to count all the rows, right? Just type count rows. Then it asks you any formula expression you are typing in Power BI, it will always guide you with instruction. So you can always follow it. The table here, the table here means the table here is the consumer opinion survey, right? That is the table. Every information here, they are columns. Are we together? Every information here, they are columns. The what bring all of them together is table. So it's the count row is asking us now that what is the table that you want to count its row. So the table we want to count its row is consumer opinion survey. Then I will close the brackets. So that's what I want it to do. So immediately that is done, if you bring it out here and drop it, you will see it will tell you the total number of, if you go and count all those rows, you can see now it's telling us that it's 520. It's 520 responses by using that. So another thing we can also do, use this particular count row that you've done. This particular count row that you have done, you can also use it to achieve a lot of things. So now, we mentioned we want to know the total response by each of the, let me go back here. I want to know the total response by agents. So I want to use that one to do it like I can do it as a table. I can click table. When I click table,
You can see table. You can come to your data here, to your data here. This format, I'm not using it, and this fit, I'm not using it now. I can collapse it. I can collapse them. So the consumer opinion survey, I'm going to locate my agent first name. This agent first name, immediately you select this table, it will tell you the feed, some of the information that it can take. So I want to drop agent first name here into this column. So all of them will show here. Now I want to know the total, what is the total response for each of the feed. Since I already have a total response formula, I will just drop it here. It will work for each one of them. This guy submitted 53, 56, 51, 52. So it's going to tell us all of that. You can see what each of them submitted, right? I can also use copy and paste in Power BI. Copy and paste, like now, I can copy, I can click this and click copy. You can use Control C to copy. Immediately you click copy, you can use Control V to paste, or click on paste here. Then this three button, just left click and drag it to the one side. I can say, okay, this is a table chart. You can see this is a table chart. You can change it to cluster bar chart, and it will turn it to cluster bar chart. You can see how that works. You can see how that works now. I can see how these people submitted. And now that I have this, now that I have total response by agent first name, so I can say this agent first name, having agent's first name here, I don't like agent first name to show here. I just want to say by agent. On the, this particular one, this particular chart, it has brought agent first name to y-axis, which is the y-axis, this y-axis, this x-axis, which is the total response. So I can double click the agent's name here and delete the first name, and it will remain the only agent. Then it will still work. It will not affect my main data. It's just the one on the chart that it will show. So it did not delete when I edited it first time. So I'm going to do it and click enter this time so that it will be applied. You can see total response by agent. You can see total response. So this particular one here, I might not need it again. I can delete it. Then I can put this one side like this. So this particular chart, I might want to format it, like put data label, do a lot of other stuff. So if I want to do some formatting with it, I mentioned format here the right time. I can click format. I want you to know that all these things can be applicable to any type of chart. So I'm going to explain this formatting for this chart. Then you can use that initiative to do for other ones. So now I've clicked on format. So any item in this canvas that you click, the necessary applicable format that is applicable to it is what is going to be displaying here. Immediately, I did not click this place again, and I click outside. You can see where this button show. You can see that the format has changed. Are we together? You can see when I click outside, the format has changed. When I click this one, this particular one, you see the format has changed. When I click this one, the formatting has changed. Are we together? Kindly let me see your favorite emoji to know that you are not sleeping where you are there. Okay. So now that you've understood that, so you see this particular page here that you are looking at here is a canvas page, and you can you can do canvas settings, you can do page settings, you can change the color of the background. You can change the color of the background. Let's say you change this color to yellow and you remove this place. You can see everything turns to yellow, right? So that is the type of format that's applicable to the background. You can also do it back. Also take it back. So, but for the chart, for this particular chart, the format I want to apply is this. All this information that I needed has come out. So size and style. In the size and style, what you normally control, what you normally edit in size and style, you can edit the height of the chart. You see, look at this, 450 by 454, right? Immediately I extend it, the size will increase. Are we all together? Immediately I increase it, you see the size increase. So you can also use this icon, this particular one, to do these settings for that. The horizontal and vertical, you can look at this 45 to 350. Immediately I take it to this place, the position of that chart has changed. So it's just telling you the region where the data is, where the chart is currently is, I meant. So padding and all of that. So one thing I will always do here is I can remove the background. The background that I remove is so that it will not be showing color on this. So the next thing is I can collapse this since I'm not using it again. The title is total response by agent. If I don't want title to show, I can close it. You can see it. For y-axis, if you want to do anything on y-axis, click on y-axis. If you don't want the value to show, click this. You will not see all those names again. If you want it to show, you do that. If you don't want agent to be showing as a name, you can click the title, or you are still under y-axis, right? You can close the title. If you want to reduce the font size, you can reduce the font size by clicking this. You can change the color of the text. Everything on that y-axis, talking to all displays, you can change color, do all of that. So let's go to x-axis. X-axis is talking about this side. So the x-axis, you can remove this. If you want to remove it, all those numbers will not show again. You can see it. If you don't want the total response to be showing as a name, since you have it as a title, you can close the title. We are still under the x-axis, I mean. So if I don't want all these numbers to show down, I can close the value, which means everything under the x-axis has been eradicated to be seen. So next thing I want to show the bars. The bars here, I can change the color to, okay, I want this color to be my favorite. This is my favorite color. I can say, okay, I want to use this color. You can see it's right. You see, it's not showing that color that I've picked. I can say, okay. I want the data label to show. You can on the data label. The zoom slider is something that you use like this. So I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. So you can play around with a lot of them. You can play around with a lot of them. So, but this is how to do the formatting. I can go to my data label. If you want to format all the color or the size of the data label, you can also do that here. You can also say, instead of these numbers to show outside, you want it to show inside the bar. You can say inside the bar base. You see, it's not showing inside the bar. You can say, okay, I want it to show outside the bar. You can say, okay, I want it to show at the edge, inside end. You want it to show inside hand. So a lot of things you can do to format that. So we have achieved this. Let's leave this one like this for now. So let's go back to our report. So we want to know the trend by submission date. Date they submitted the data. So we want to use line chart for that. So let me click on line chart. So we click on line chart. I want to know the trend of how the data was submitted. So you guys are going to have assignments, and there will not be Power BI class next week, Saturday. There will not be the Power BI class. So I will assume that you use the hours for Power BI class to do your assignment that I'm going to give to you. We are going to replicate everything we have done here as your assignment, and you submit it, and I will give you some additional metrics to calculate for next class. So I will give you what you are going to calculate, and so that's what we are doing next week. So I will not be having the class with you, but you are going to use that period to do your assignment. Because I know during the week might be very busy for you. So we are going to use this Power BI period to do that. So I want to use this trend line here. This trend line, I've selected the trend line. So I'm going to drop the trend line. If you want to plot a trend line, you know your x-axis is going to be date. So which means that date submitted will be my x-axis. Why? You see, immediately you drop date, then the total response will be my y-axis. You see the way it's showing, it's showing somehow, right? So the date is not currently coming out as a date. So what you need to do is this: you see this arrow at the back, you click it. It's going to ask you one question. You can click it 2 times to show you this. Then it's asking you, it's currently on date hierarchy. Date hierarchy means that it's going to show year, show month, show quarter, show all of that. So that's what it's doing. But I want it to be a full date. So I will now click this submit. I don't want date hierarchy. Computer normally generate that by itself. So immediately I click data hierarchy, it has shown like this. So, but it's currently give me 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m., which is not in my data, right? So come back to your date submitted, click it, then you will see at the top, immediately you click on date submitted, you see column 2. You see date submitted, you see format, data format. You remember the data format we are talking about that time. So we need to update the data format here in Power BI. So you select a sort date. You select a sort date. So that sort date, it will not be showing as a date and time that is currently showing on my chart. So I don't want it to be showing the, so you know, I've corrected it. I've corrected that in my table view now. I can see that it's showing normal proper date. So if I go to my chart, you can still see that it's still showing. So which means you need to click on this submitted here. When you click it, that's column 2 that appear. You know, when you click this particular one that time, column 2 appear, and you click format, and you do that correction. Then you click on date submitted here too. Column 2 will come up again. Then you click on format, this drop down, you click sort date, then it will apply. Let me select this one. So the next thing I want to do now is this. The next thing I want to do. So the reason why this one is still showing time here is because all of them are 21, 21, 20, 22 based on time. So let's just leave that one here as this. So let me put this one here. So let's now look at the second thing we want to do. We want to know the latitude and longitude, the coordinate, the spread, the location spread of the data. So let's click on map. I mentioned that you need to do some feature updates on your Power BI before you use map. So you need to have completed that, restart your Power BI. Then let me click on map. So I'll click map. Then when you click map, I'm using this first map so that you're not going to mistake it for this other one. I'm using the map, the one that shows map, ordinary map, like a globe. Then when you are here, you look for latitude. You drop latitude where we have latitude here. You drop longitude where we have longitude. You see, immediately the computer already recognizing it. You can see all your favorite location in Lagos. Who is familiar with all these locations in Lagos? Ikeja, Ijaye, Aguda, Onigbongbo. Do you know that place in Lagos? For most of you that are resident of Lagos. So you can see, so now we have all the location points of where the data was collected. Somebody say he or she cannot see my screen. Can you log out and come in again? Because my screen is visible. Or who's also having that same experience? Can you all see my screen? Ojo Orobola, can you still see my screen now? Or you can't still see it? I know you dropped your message 9 minutes, about 5 minutes ago. Can you guys hear me and can you see my screen?
I see your screen, sir.
All right. Okay. So I think it's from your side, Orobola. Kindly check your network or move close to somebody that their screen is currently on, so for you not to miss out. So quickly, so now what I'm going to do now is now that I have all these locations, now we want to know what is the total response of information that will receive across each local community. Then we drop the total response. Drop the total response as a bubble size. You see, as you drop it as a bubble size, you see that where you have a bigger bubble, it means that you have a high number of response from that location. That's what it means. That means a lot of response coming from that place. So that's what that particular one means. So now that I've done that, then the next thing is, and I want to format my map. I go to format. I click on my format is already here, so I don't need to click format again. Then I will come to size. In size, I just need to remove the background. Then when I've removed the background, I can collapse my size. Let me go to map setting. Instead of the map settings here, okay, the map setting, you can do a lot of things. You can change the color, you can change it to dark, you can change it to anything you want, you see. You can change it to dark, you can change it to light. So depend on your favorite, you get. So you can change it to road. So it depends on whatever you want to see. Then the next thing I want to do is bubble. Click on bubble. Bubbles is this symbol. You can increase the size. You can increase the size, you see, to show maybe it's very small, but I normally put it to be as +9 so that I can see it very well. So you can see, let's leave it to 5 this time. So you can change the color of that to something that you can relate with. Then we have this. We have this. You can just put it anywhere you want to see it. Let me come here. So we can have this here. Is here. So the next thing we want to do, we have done that location. Then we want to know the gender of the respondent, right? And we want to know the age group of the respondent. So for the gender of the respondent, so we can use, you can click on doughnut chart. Let's click on doughnut chart. Then on the doughnut chart, let's drop the gender. Where is gender? Drop gender to legend and drop total response towards to value. Can you see that? Can you see that now? Then let's come to our format. This format, we can remove title and we can leave the title. Then the legend, this legend, you know, this thing is taking a lot of space. This legend is taking a lot of space. We can close the legend. Then the slicer here, we can change the color of the slicer to something that we think we like. You might change the color of the slicer and say, okay, we change it to something like this, and then you collapse it. You can choose any color of your choice when you are doing your own. Then the most important thing I want to show us here is so you come to this detail label here. You can come to where is this thing? Okay, when under the detail label, I want it to show, you know, we closed the legend the other time, we closed the legend. So I want all detail label to show. All detail label will now show male, female. Which is the function of the legend before. So now this one has replaced that one. So now let me take this one down like this. Then this one is like this. Let me take the trend line here. Let me put this one here. Okay. Then I want to know the age group of the respondents. I want to know the age group of the respondents. I can select this particular one. I can say, okay, I can select the columns, this chart. I can say, okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, then what is the age group? Age, respondent, age group. So gender, marital, respondent, I think supposed to be this. So x-axis will be the respondents. Okay, this one is religion. So anything you are looking for that's giving you issue, just type age at the top here. Age range. Okay, I'll see age range.
So I've dropped it here. I've dropped it here. Then I will cancel it. If you are looking for anything, you can type it here to make it faster, like the search box. Then y-axis, I will drop my this. I can see my. Can you see now? I can see my this thing here. I can see the age group here. So I can see the age group here. I can see the age group. I can see the age group here. You can see the age group of the respondents, right? So let me sort it by, you can sort it by age of the respondents. You can sort it by anything. You can click on these three dots. You will see sort. Sort by total response, sort by ascending order, so that you can see the younger age based on the how they grow. You can see where the age, the respondent with the larger respondent came from the 25 to 34 years. Then let's go back to the last thing I want to do. What do you want to know? Okay, let's say want to know the religion. Let's say want to know the religion. So this particular one that we have here, we might say this chart, I don't want this chart to be like this. I might say, okay, I want to change it to something like this. I will just click, you just click it and click. You can click the button beside it here. You can click button beside it here and change chart, or you just come to this place. It's still the same thing. It will do the same thing. Then you take it here so that to maintain a good structure. Maintain a good structure. Then the next thing I want to do, all the formatting, I don't want to go to this place to do the formatting manually again. The formatting that I've done to this particular one, I want to apply it to this one. I will just click this. I will come to format painter. The format painter is telling you that whatever I've done to this data to format it, I want it to apply to this one. So it will apply that settings to this one. You can see all those formatting has done to this. Total response by age range. So I will come to age range here. Let me rename it. I will delete all the respondent, all those long links. I can do this one. I will click enter. Total response by age range. You can see I now have that. So the next thing is the marital status and religion of the respondents. So I can copy this. I can also copy this and paste. I can copy and paste. I'll copy and paste. So for this total respondents here, I will remove the gender of the respondent. Let me put marital status here. You are getting it. For this one too, let me remove this. Let me put religion. Where is the religion of the respondent? I can put it here. So then I can now click this particular one and click format painter and apply it here. It will change anything that is changeable here. But because they are not two, this one is 2 elements, this one is 3 elements. So the colored formatting might not be applied to it. So you might want to do that by yourself by coming to slicer, change the color to something you think you want to use. Then pick any color of your choice and pick so let's try it here because they are not the same element, so the color will not apply. So let's change the color for this. So just do anything you like based on color. So what I want to do now is I want to come to the detail label here. I want to reduce the font and then the title. I want to reduce the title size. 14 is too big. I'll take it to 9. So when I click this and click format, I can use that to reduce for this one. I can use that to reduce for this one too. Then I can also say I can also reduce this small, reduce this to very small. Sorry, I can reduce this. There is another thing that you can also do. If you look at this particular one, yeah. So if you look at this, 50% is going even some decimal value. So I will go to my detail too. This decimal display unit is one that's causing that. I will make it to be null. I make it to be null. Then the value percentage, I make it to be 0. Percentage auto, I make it to be 0. So you see, immediately I have done that. Everything is not showing percentage 66.35. Like which one is now O? It's like it has eradicated the decimal places. I will apply that here so that the same things will be applicable to this. But if it did not work, let's do it again. You're supposed to apply that things here, but if it did not work, you can just come here manually and change it. Change them to 0, decimal to 0, 0, yeah. So that is that about this. So this other one here. So this particular one, I'm going to adjust it here like this. Okay, so that is that. How to, so I will expect you guys to submit something like this. So this particular one, let me change the X and Y axis of this one too. So I will come to title. I want to remove the respondents here. So I'm going to do that's for X axis. For Y axis, I'm going to remove the title too. I don't want title to show. So the next thing is the color. I will go to line. From line you will see color, then I will choose this color. So everything will rhyme. The total response is here already. So the next thing I want us to do now is I want to know the percentage. I want to see percentage of male, percentage of female, the marital status percentage. So we need to calculate that. So how do we do that? So now, so the assignment I'm going to give to you, this is another aspect that is going to come up from. I will do it for, which one should we go for? Should we do it for male or marital status or religion? Which one should we go for? Okay, let me do it for gender. Then we do it for marital status. We do it for religion. So what I'm trying to say now is that we want to know what is the total number, just like the way we have a total response showing the whole 520 for the whole response. We want to know what is the total number of male, only male, total number of only female as a KPI, as a number like this. Then we now do the percentage. So I will do it for gender, then you will now replicate that same approach, that same step. You replicate it for marital status to calculate total single, total married. You also do for total Christian, total Muslim, and other. Then you do their percentage. So now so for the May, so what I'm trying to talk about now, the approach is you are going to go to home, come to your table view, come to home, click on new measure here. When you click on new measure, I've mentioned that the way you work with Power BI is just like the way you are expressing your English kind of a thing, that you are speaking with computer or speaking with someone. So I will say that May total May respondents, or instead of not to have a long sentence, total May equals to you now say, you tell computer that calculate, you tell computer to calculate. So immediately you type calculate, you see calculate already show. You can click it. Then immediately you click it, you see the calculate is now telling you, tell me the expression, and then what should I filter. So the expression is talking about calculate total response. You mentioned you already have a total response here calculated before, right? Just tell computer that I want a total response. I want a total response. Immediately you enter total response, there is a close square bracket here, which means that you have satisfied the expression. Then click on comma. The next thing is computer is telling you to filter. The filter now is that you want computer to go to this table, gender, so to the consumer opinion survey, and then to come to gender of the respondent. So that is a filter where you want to apply filter into. You want computer to come to consumer opinion and then select a gender of the respondent. You can just type in your own work. You might type marital status, but for my own, I've just typed gender. Later I type gender. You see gender of the respondent, consumer opinion. You can see it has referenced the table that I'm interested on. It's referenced the table. It has referenced the gender. Then what do I want you to do? I want you now write where consumer opinion and where we have a column of the respondent equals to May. And anytime you want to talk about a text that is not number, you need to put a quotation between that number. So you now put brackets. You close your brackets. Then you now say you click on commit. So you need to make sure that any spelling of what you are referencing here is that same spelling that element is having. That same spelling is what that element is having. When you are doing your own, when you reference marital status, you need to make sure that your single spelling, your married spelling is follow the same capital letter, M, small letter, the rest. You need to follow that. So now that I've done my, so now if I bring out the total May, you can see the total May now. It will give me the figure of total May. Are we together now? So let me calculate for total female. So I will go to home again. I go to home again. I will click on new measure. I will click on new measure. I will click on new measure. I will type total female. Total female equals to calculate. You type calculate total response. Then are we together? Are you still hearing me? Total response, then where gender, or which one I'm doing, gender, yes. Where gender, immediately you type gender, you make sure that the table name, consumer opinion survey, have to be part of it to make it as a reference. It's just like what is happening here. Okay, let me just type everything here. It's equal to double quotation, me. So what you are doing here now is that just like you want to give an address to somebody, I want you to go to TAU, go to Department of Mathematics or Business Administration, kind of go to that department. Like your objective is to go and count the total number of students in that department, right? So here is now Thomas Adewumi, Department of Business Administration, female. So that's what it means. Like you are telling them that the objective of what you have to do is to do the total count for me. Then this is the address of the location. This is the name of the location. This is the street. And this is my interest. So that's what it's doing. So then you click on this. So immediately you click it, you can come and check your work. You can come and drop it. Immediately your answer is not giving you. You can, instead of dropping it down, you can also select card. This 1, 2, 3 here. If you select this 1, 2, 3, then you will drop your female, you drop it there. It's still the same thing. You get my point. So it's still the same thing. So now, to now do the percentage, so to now do the percentage, what you now need to do, you click on new measure again. So you do percentage of male, percentage of female. So now
percentage of May is now equals to, if you want to calculate the percentage of May, it's going to be what? It's going to be, you type divide, just like I mentioned, you are writing you are transcribing for computer and speaking to it. You type describe. Computer has asked you what is the numerator, what is the denominator. The numerator is what? Is the May. You type May, then comma, you put a comma. What is your denominator? Your denominator is total response, which has the total sample size. Total. Then the alternative here is talking about a situation a numerator and denominator are indivisible. Maybe there are sometimes they are indivisible. Maybe you mistakenly put something, also a number did not exist. So what do you want the response to be? I want it to equal to 0. If you want it to be something else, you can also mention, let's say you want it to be anything, but normally just put 0 for alternative. Then click on you commit, then let's go to our report view. Let's drop it. So when we get to our report view, so let's come here again. I don't want to be dropping it again. So make sure that whenever you want to drop anything or you want to click a chart, you are not selecting any of these items. You click outside any of them so that they will not get replaced. Later you select them and you select chart, they will get replaced. So now I'm clicking out, then I will select this chart. Then the percentage that I just calculated is here. You look for it. You can drag this one here. You can see it is 77%. So now that it's 77%, I want it to show in percentage. I don't want it to be in 0.77. So you click on that percentage of May that you've calculated. Click on it. When you click on it, you will take your cursor to percentage at the top here. You see percentage sign here on the formatting. When you have formatting, so you see it's now showing 77.31%. Then the decimal place, let me reduce it to 0. You click it. Sometimes computer is not very responsive, so you just take time for it to chill and get itself. Then you make it to be like that. Then you calculate for female too. So there are another shortcut I want to teach you. Instead of me to start clicking new measure and type the whole formula for female all over again, I can click on this May and select and use Ctrl A to highlight all and copy. Then I will now select a new measure. I will select a new measure here. I will select a new measure. Then I will paste that formula from May. I will just change this May to female. Then where we have total May, I've just changed it to total female. You see, it will come out. Then it make my work more easier. So just for your own, where you want to do your marital status, you can calculate for single. Then you will just copy it and be editing it repeatedly instead of you to be doing it manually once all over again. So now that I have this, now that I have this, now I have percentage of female, total male. So I can copy this and paste. Then let me unselect this and select this. Then let me select percentage of female again. Let me change that one to percentage. Then when it's done, I will change this one to, I'll change it to this. So then you can see that we've achieved our aims. So you guys' assignment is now to recreate for oh, what's wrong with this?
Sorry, I wanted to split the screen and everything scatter. It doesn't want to get split. Okay, let me close this one. Don't save. So you guys should replicate everything we have done on this report. So, and then in addition to what you need to do, let me just type it so that we can take this one home. In addition to that, okay. So you will calculate in addition to that, you calculate the total single, total married, then that is from marital status. So from marital status column, calculate the following. So from and then and their percentages, that is number one. Number two is also a replica of that. You also do for religion, calculate for religion, then you calculate for Christian, you calculate for Muslim, you calculate for total others and their percentage. Then the third one is replicate the dashboard. And can also build it in your own personal narratives. So the dashboard that we build, you can also build your own. Then it's not mandatory you follow the whole story the way it was arranged here. You can also create your own narrative. You can also create your own dashboard narrative. You understand me, right? You can create your own narrative. So the next aspect from we are going to meet in, that's going to be the last class is going to be March, what is that? Sometime March 8th is going to be our last class on Power BI. So but we expect this assignment. Then the next one is going to be, we are going to just talk about one or two other things. Then we talk about some other design and stuff that you can also do. So the assignment, I'm going to drop it on the chat here. So the assignments, 1, 2, 2. So the Power BI, you don't need to replicate the whole dashboard. You can just do your own design. So I've sent it to the chat. So let me also put it to the screen. So I'm able to take your question. We have like 4 minutes more. So the assignment is this already. So this is the assignment. So these are the things I'm expecting from your. So yeah. So any questions, any clarifications that you want to ask? Can you hear me?
Are we together? Any question? Can you still hear me, guys?
Yes, David, I can hear you.
All right, okay. So that's the end of the class from my side today. So I also dropped these assignments here to the WhatsApp group, and we also informed the program coordinator, Prof. Isike, to also follow up with everybody to help us create a channel to submit. So wishing you guys the best of luck ahead and to have a amazing weekend rest.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. David, for this wonderful teaching on Power BI.